Hello and welcome. This is Ron Wiggins in Dallas, Texas. I want to thank you for your time that you're taking out of your busy schedule to join this webinar. We're going to give you some information today that can literally change your life. You know, over 23 years ago, I caught a vision when I looked at this company, and it was very, very compelling. And over an hour presentation, there's two takeaways I got that made sense to me. Number one was the aging of the baby boomers, and the reason that made sense was he said the age range of the baby boomers, and I was at the bottom of the totem pole, 1964. So that's when I started paying attention in that overview, to be truthful with you. The main thing I got from that overview, folks, was the difference of linear income versus leveraged income. You see, linear income is trading time for money. Leveraged means it goes on with you, with or without you, rather. That's what we're going to be talking about today as a business vehicle that can literally set you free. We're going to get started here. Let's talk about the choices of our futures. You know, in the income quadrant, we each fall or have fallen into one or more of these categories, be it an employee, retiree, a student, traditional business, or maybe you got lucky and hit a business system perhaps. As an employee, which I was, you see my background is 11 years in shoe sales right out of high school. I was working 70, 75 hours a week when I began this business. I was a newlywed of only 2 weeks. I didn't have a life. I was working around the clock, it felt like. Think about it, up to 75 hours a week. B, working for someone else as an employee, I wasn't making what I was worth. You see, others dictate our worth when we're an employee. And the truth of the matter is today, if you're in the corporate environment making a lot of money, it's just a matter of time before your territory is cut. They add another salesperson to it. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the truth. And it's a fact that as an employee, there's no time nor money, freedom to enjoy that, either one of them. Traditional business, you know, yes, you can make some money in traditional business as a business owner. Most folks that I know or have known in my lifetime that own their own traditional business had zero time to enjoy the money. They were round the clock, focused on the dollar and protecting their investment, if you will. As a retired person or student, you know, I want to talk about the retiree for just a quick second. You know, it's unfortunate, but most people, when they approach 60, 65 years of age, they're still trading time for money. Bam, the Social Security, they can, you know, more days than money at the end of the month. Then they retire. The Social Security funds start kicking in, which is less per month than what they could barely live on to make ends meet when they were working. As a student, this is a gross fact. Over 70% of college students are moving back home with their parents. Okay? Either way, no money, a lot of free time, but it's not a life, obviously. Now, what you're going to look at today is a business system, folks, that can literally set you free if you catch the vision of the most explosive trend that you and I have ever witnessed, second to technology, in our entire lifetimes. So I want to thank you in advance for your open mind, and we're just going to dive in here because, you know, the ostrich approach is simple. Well, so far, Ron, you have lost me. I'm not paying attention. Let me tell you what, that's the worst time you could catch that attitude, because the next 25 minutes, it can literally change your life. It's not a time to be sticking one's head in the sand. I just want to have you open up your mind and pay close attention. If you need a notepad and pen, it'd be a great time to get it and take some notes, write down any questions with the person who shared this information with you. We're happy to cover those with you. But now is the most important time to have that open mind, because I want you to embrace some possibilities here with us today. What if you could determine the way you age, move beyond comfortable, and truly make a difference, have an impact in others' lives? What if that were possible? I'm going to ask you to embrace those possibilities, and I want you to embrace those solely based on 5 key factors that we're going to explore and share with you from this point forward. That is the company. We're going to introduce you to this company, the trends and timing of this company, our products and science, our compensation and support, and mentorship. And with no further delay at this time, I'm going to take it out to Pensacola Beach, Florida. Welcome a colleague of mine, Rich Holznick. Rich?
Thanks, Ron. How do you hear?
Great.
Okay, great. Hey, yeah, I love talking about this company. It's an extraordinary company. Nu Skin has been around for 30 years, and it's got a track record like no other company in the industry. As you see on the bottom of the screen, 30 years of stability and success. We let others do the boasting for us. We don't need to boast ourselves. Forbes magazine listed Nu Skin in their list of the 100 most trustworthy companies in America. Nu Skin was number 5 on the list. Not a single other company in the industry made the top 100. Similarly, as we're going to see in a minute, Forbes recognized Nu Skin again as one of the fastest growing companies in the world, one of the top 100 fastest growing companies in the world. Then you've got the Stevie Awards, or the American and International Business Awards. Nu Skin has won over 20 of these awards. There's very, very few other companies receive such recognition. We get it virtually every single year, be it for the best CEO in corporate America or most innovative product to be introduced for the year or for social responsibility. This is an extraordinarily well-run company. Then you've got Dun & Bradstreet. They've given Nu Skin a 5A1 credit rating. That's perfect corporate credit ever since the company went public some 19 years ago. So very well run, debt-free. Motley Fool says that Nu Skin is the Apple of the anti-aging industry. And we'll take a look at that in a second. But just as Apple has prospered through innovation, so too Nu Skin in our sector, the wellness and anti-aging market. We've got global reach. We're in 53 countries, record revenue year after year after year. Last year, we were right at $3.2 billion, and the neat thing was we had more than $1 billion in year-over-year growth. We went from $2 billion in 2012 to over $3 billion in 2013. Extraordinary growth, unprecedented growth, record-breaking growth. We're publicly traded. You see the symbol there on the New York Stock Exchange, NUS. That means the information that we're telling you is a matter of public record. We can't make it up, because we've got to make it available to investors so they can determine whether or not to invest their money with our company. In addition, I love the heart of the company. There's an initiative called Nourish the Children. We've got the best nutritional products on the market, and we've funneled some of our R&D and product development into feeding starving kids around the world. And as you can see on the screen, to date, we have provided more than 355 million meals to starving kids around the world. This is our way of paying back. There's countries in Africa like Malawi where there used to be literally 20, 30,000 deaths every year due to malnutrition, little kids dying because they didn't have enough food. And since Nu Skin became present in these places, specifically Malawi, not a single death due to malnutrition since 2009. And we're seeing the same kinds of things all around the world. Nu Skin is typically the first responder to a national disaster, flying in these vitameals, these vitamin-rich meals, just add water, and first on scene. It's a company that's not only prospering, but also has a heart. Then we've got a brand new Nu Skin Innovation Center, just completed this year. More than $100 million cash paid for this facility. Another one was also was built similarly out in China. Nu Skin is flush with cash, and that gives us a great position vis-a-vis our competitors, because when we see something we want or something we need to do, we've got the cash to do it. And that's exciting, because we're able to do things that debt-ridden companies are not able to do. This is ground zero for, as you're going to hear in a little bit, genetic-based anti-aging research. Scientists from all over the world are coming to see what we're up to, because we are on the very tip of the spear. This is a science-based company. Right here you can see that we've got 75 world-class scientists on staff, full-time on staff, and I'm talking about the best in every category of research and medicine. This is not some late-night TV advertisement. We have a single doctor that purports to have the cure for the aging problem. No, this is a very complex problem, but we've got interdisciplinary cooperation where our scientists have been working diligently, and they have touched on the genetic sources of aging. And again, our competitors are still dabbling around on the periphery, dealing with the signs of aging and the symptoms of aging. But Nu Skin is unique in that we have the ability to touch the genetic sources of aging and wellness. I mentioned that Nu Skin has capital to act when they need to act. We have wonderful exclusive relationships with many research universities where Nu Skin funnels money for targeted research, which drives product development. In addition to our exclusive relationship with many research universities, we have partnered with those companies in the civilian sector that are on the cutting edge. Companies like Pharmanex, Knox Technologies, and LifeGen Technologies, as you see on the screen. These are companies, for example, LifeGen Technologies, 30 years of genetic-based research and patents, global patents, that enable us to do something that even the giant pharmaceuticals cannot do. I'm going to give you an example of that in just a minute. Knox Technologies happens to be a company that discovered an aging enzyme, which we worked together with them to neutralize. We acquired these companies outright. We worked with them, and then we said, hey, you know what? Let's partner together permanently, and we acquired them. So millions of dollars spent acquiring companies, and on the right side of the screen you see the biophotonic scanner. We still have the only antioxidant scanner in the world that's able to measure antioxidant status in living human tissue. We can do it in 30 seconds. It's a huge piece of technology, and we had the $100+ million to buy the patents to develop that technology. At the bottom of the screen, you see something called ageLOC. When you hear ageLOC, think of products, both ingestible and topical, that can target genetic sources. We know what every gene does, and we can target them, and we can turn the clock back on the way we look and we feel. So far, in just a few years, we've had over $2 billion in ageLOC product sales. This is a huge product launch, and it's only getting bigger. Just last year, we had a single product that brought in more than $500 million in revenue. Talk more about that in a second. So ageLOC, again, think genetic-based products that target genetic sources of aging and wellness. Now, all of this leads to accelerated growth. I mentioned that last year we went from a $2 billion company to a $3 billion company. We're going to see more of the same. That's why Forbes magazine on September 1st of this year said that Nu Skin was in the top 100 companies worldwide in terms of growth. We're one of the fastest growing companies worldwide. Again, not a single other company in the industry on that top 100 list. We are in a class by ourselves. When other people come to me and say, hey, why don't you come and join us? It's a new startup. I think to myself, I mean, why on earth would I want to do something like that when we've got the hottest thing going right now and we are in a league of our own? So I have a couple questions for you. How are you aging? How are the people that you know and love aging? Your parents, your children, your siblings. How does your skin look? Are you happy with the way you're aging? How's your energy level? How does your body look? How's your health on the inside? Well, I can tell you that the wellness and anti-aging market is soon to be $1 trillion market. In fact, there's a couple of mega trends that this company is working in. Ron's going to talk to you in a minute about another one, but whether it's the obesity mega trend or the wellness and anti-aging mega trend, we've got the best products on the market, and I'm going to tell you why now. First of all, you are absolutely at the right place at the right time. In this industry, all time is not equal. There's times like when you're out there surfing on your surfboard, and little waves come, but then all of a sudden you see it coming in the horizon. A super wave. I used to live in Hawaii, up on the North Shore. You can you see the wave coming. Well, this is what we've got going on right now, a perfect storm of opportunity. And what you see on this slide is the ageLOC product launch cycle. When we first started our ageLOC product line back in 2007, it happened to be facial gels that were targeting genes that produce structural proteins in the skin. It was a big launch for us. It was a record-breaking launch for us. But no one had heard about ageLOC. So what we see is as each new product was introduced, more and more people knew about it, and revenues that were being generated by these new product launches continued to break and crush previous industry records. 2009, our award-winning international product of the year, ageLOC Transformation, we sold 17 million in 2 hours. I was out in LA trying to get a box for myself. The next year, we actually had the galvanic body spa for body sculpting and a product called R Squared for cellular purification and detox, over $100 million in the space of a month. Last year, we had our genetic-based weight management and body sculpting system that launched. Over $500 million worth of that product just last year alone. And then just this week, we had our first ever FDA-approved facial spa system that Jennifer's going to talk about in a second. We don't know what the numbers are, but they're going to be staggering. And we have more products coming down the line because that's what our company does. Corporate headquarters and our product development teams and our scientific research teams will continually give us things that we need so that we stay ahead of the competition. This is what we call in our industry a blue water company. We're out there in the open ocean, and we're untouchable. Everyone else is trying to get the scraps that we leave behind because we are industry leaders. We've got some unbelievable products coming out in 2015 and 16, but all this to say is the company will continue to support us by giving us great, great products. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to my friend, Jennifer Schuman in Evanston, Illinois. Jennifer is a friend of mine for some time. Her husband, David, and I went to the Naval Academy together, and we met some 40-plus years ago, if you can believe that. So the beauty of this business is you get to pick the people you want to work with, and I want to work with people like Jennifer Schuman. So, Jennifer, over to you.
Rich, thank you so much for that kind introduction. As Rich said, Nu Skin is really enjoying accelerated growth right now, and my background is in international marketing and branding. What I see is happening right now is that we've got two primary reasons for this really significant growth. One is innovation, and then the other is a proven business model. So when I had a look at where the global trends were going, I could see that Nu Skin was really a unique company, and on top of this trend, the trend is where the money in the economy is flowing. Nu Skin is on top of the baby boomers who are aging by a rate of at least 10,000 people a day turning 65 in the U.S. alone. So talk about a trend that you want to ride. Rich is mentioning that wave. This is that tidal wave that you want to get on. Nu Skin is very unique for many reasons. One, because it has an innovation and acquisition budget. So that actually keeps the company on the leading edge. They are taking this particular new suite of products. These are products that use the ageLOC technology that Rich mentioned. This is a science called epigenetics. What epigenetics does is it actually retrains the genes to act young again. This is a cutting-edge technology and science that will affect everyone. So when it comes to bringing absolute transformation in health and wellness and aesthetics and appearance, this is a Class 2 medical device. The FDA has just cleared it, so we are just bringing it out to market. It'll affect the baby boomers, everyone on this age wave, as well as those who want to age gracefully. And really what it comes down to is that we are aging in a way that we want to have a quality of life. People are living longer, and really this is a time to think about your quality of life, the quality of life of people around you, and how that really translates into a business opportunity. So next up here, what we want to look at is this exact science of ageLOC. This is a patented science that Nu Skin owns. So to our benefit. Our partner company is really bringing our advantage to the market. So what you see here on the left is basically a strip of 5 subjects that are in their 20s. And what that means is they are all go, go, go. You're seeing the gene reflection in the mitochondria. It's the powerhouse of your cells. You know what it was like in your 20s. You could eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs, no problem. You could eat, have a pizza, stay up all night. But now look at the rectangle in the center of this slide, and we are looking at old gene expression. These are 5 subjects in their 50s, and you can see the way that mitochondria starts to turn off. Well, 90 days later, those genes have been reset. So when it comes to the skin, when it comes to your energy level, we're talking about actually retraining genes to act young again, and that is where you can capitalize on this particular science. So let's look at the difference demonstrated here. Now, when you think about the way you want to transform yourself and the way people around you want to transform, you can do it without having to go to a wellness center or a spa. You can actually make progress without yet scheduling another appointment and without surgery. The way that we're able to do that is through this particular treatment. It's something that the Hollywood stars are talking about, and I have already been able to enjoy this fantastic new facial spa. I've had it before the launch, and I'll say I'm going to be 47 years young in a week. It is really transforming. I've gotten so many compliments just this past week, and I really am enjoying the reflection I'm seeing in the mirror. So that also translates, obviously, into terrific business growth for you. Let's have one more look at it, and this really wowed me. I received this photograph yesterday from a colleague. I showed it to my 2 young daughters, and they absolutely completely thought this was 2 different people. But this is the kind of transformation that we're seeing with this suite of ageLOC products, with the new FDA-cleared facial device, and this is where you want to jump on. This is not lotions and potions. This is true transformation. And I know when you are considering where you want to go, where you want to progress in the next few years, have a really good look at the global trends. Anti-aging is where you want to be, and I can vouch that Nu Skin is where we are going. We're taking us where we want to go here. So now I want to hand it back to a terrific colleague, terrific friend, and very driven leader who is truly forging the way. Personally, I know that we're going to continue to see some audacious goals achieved here in the next few years. And Ron Wiggins, I'd love to hear your thoughts on where we're going and how we can get there. Ron.
Hey, thank you so much, Jennifer. Rich as well. I love this picture because we, in our society in days and times, we like immediate gratification. I'll tell you what, I've never seen something so mind-blowing in my absolute life. This is incredible. And this began right at 30 years ago this year with our product innovation. Our concept from day one was all of the good, none of the bad. And look what we turned into. A multi-billion-dollar company that's one of the fastest-growing companies in the world. That's second to none, second class to none. We're in the forefront of everybody out there in respect to anti-aging and nutritional wellness. I want to now talk about a specific product for just a moment, because it's an epidemic, and we have January coming up on us in just a matter of months now, which is obviously the primetime season due to the holiday add-on and making of new goals, etc. But, think about it this way. How many people do you know want to lose or need to lose either some weight, a lot of weight, or they're just obese? Like I said, it's an epidemic. When a population coined not just the United States, but a global community, over 70% of is obese, that's an epidemic. This product line, again, with January coming up, TR90 is the absolute solution. Working in the mitochondria, burning fat the way it is supposed to burn, and adding lean body mass It is literally a body sculpting program like the planet has never seen. That's why we did over $500 million in a pre-launch of this recently in one single month. And as Rich stated earlier, it crushed every single record 100-fold over within the industry. That's an impact. Now, how does this thing work? It's pretty simple. It's called the value of social capital. This is you and I right here in the center. You know, from day one, if you and I go to a restaurant, if we go to a movie, we go buy a new vehicle, we go buy a new tie or a pair of shoes, and we get compliments on it, or you share your excitement when you go back to the office on Monday talking about the weekend. What'd you do this weekend? I went to see the movie X, whatever that movie may have been, and you talk passionately about it because you enjoyed the heck out of it. Well, guess what? Half of the office goes and sees it the following weekend. Now, the breakdown is Cinemark does not mail you a check at the end of the month. Okay, so you get where I'm coming from. Word of mouth has always been, will always be, the purest, formest, cleanest fashion of advertising. Okay, in our model, we simply eliminate all middlemen expenses, and they pay people just like you and I, ordinary people, extraordinary amounts of money to get the word out there. And when you combine that word of mouth advertising with media, social media via our smartphones, our internet accesses, devices, etc., it's simple as this. You have a company, you have you and I, we get it out to the consumer, and the royalties they pay us, guys, are absolutely staggering, which we're going to go over in just a second. But the company in 2012, I'll tell you what, I'll get it more up to date than that. In 2013, paid well over $1 billion back to people just like you and I, and we're going to show you how they do that in just a moment. You got to be asking by now, what's in it for you? I mean, you have to be asking that question. You know, Ron, you guys have been talking about the company, the trends, the products, the timing. What's in it for me? Okay, that would be my question. So what's in it for you? The best way to put this is to talk about last year's average earnings. Average commissions, again, which Rich said earlier, are a matter of public record. This is, everyone starts at the same place. You don't start on top of the heap. We help people build a heap. This is you and I right here in the center. This was me a little over 23 years ago when I began this business very part-time. When I say very part-time, I'm talking 12 to 15 hours a week. Now, and after 1 year of 12 to 15 hours a week, again, that's in addition to over 75 hours a week at the shoe store and being a newlywed of 2 weeks, I replaced my income. I went full-time immediately. 5 months later, called my wife home from work. Here we are. Here I am with a high school diploma, a shoe salesman of 11 years, and we're approaching a six-figure income, recurring residual income within 18 months, of which the first 12 were what I'd almost call spare time, you know. But the first thing, our first objective is to coach and assist and help and promote you to the executive level. The average executive in this company last year made $5,400. Well, Ron, that's not a whole lot of money. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. Well, you know what? Nor would I. We all start in the same place, as I mentioned. You know, my first 4 checks in this company, they look like this: $27, $60-something, $167. And our 4th month check, we were an executive. Our first executive check was over $2,500. Okay, then, you know, things started to change a little bit. The game started changing our personal lives. But, you know, think about it. How many people do you know would like to make an extra 400 and some odd bucks a month, recurring income? You know, that's a brand new car payment. That's maybe babysitter money or daycare, whatever the case may be. Help offset some grocery and gas expense. You know, supplemental income, and we all start again at the same place. We're going to pick it up a notch and go straight to 4. We like to build in teams of 4 because this is where the money starts making a difference in masses' lives. You know, the average executive, with our help, that produced 4 other first-level executives last year in this company made over $34,000. Now, that's an important number because that just doubled nearly 80% of this country's income. $34,488, just doubled nearly 80% of this country's income. Okay, we're going to shift from 4 to 8. What it took you to do in 4 months, by now you have began to embrace this business model. Trust in others that are helping you build your business. You have now discovered yourself in this business. And why I'm sharing that is what it took you to get to 4 executives, you're now polished around the edges. It doesn't take you that long to get the next 4. And those who go hit forward and get the next 4, well, you see what happens at 6, but when you take it to 8 executives, the average who had 8 executives last year with this company on their first level earned over $125,000, $127,000 to be exact. Now, that's an interesting figure because now you're in the top 5 income earners in our country today. Think about that, all without the liability, is what I'd call it, of a boss, no employees, no overhead, working from the convenience of your home. Now, is that not the perfect business model or what? And by the way, the tax advantages would blow your mind. You can speak with your accountant regarding that. Now, the average that pressed on and hit the 12 executive mark. Last year made $639,000. I began with this company in 1991, 4.5 years into this business, and we had just a slight fraction of offering back then what we have now. We hit this 12 executive mark in 4.5 years. Today, the average time frame for one to get to that level in year 2013 was exactly 3.5 years. And I have to ask you to ask yourselves, what could you possibly do to have this type of lifestyle income without the boss, without the employees, without the financial risk, without the overhead, to have this type of lifestyle income, which in essence equates to true freedom, both time and financial. That's what we're about. That is what we're about. Once you consider 5 things, we know that the company the future has never been brighter, but the 5 key factors, as we set this up with on this webinar from the onset to let you discover, were the company, trends and timing, products and science, compensation, and last but certainly not least, because it's mandatory for one to become successful, is the correct support and mentorship that you can bet your life on in getting started with us and joining our team. With that said, let's talk about getting started. What's the next step, Ron? Well, I'm glad you asked, guys. The company has designed certain product packages heavily discounted to initiate someone into the fold, if you will. And you can come in with either one or 2 of these product packages. They're $375 per package. That's at wholesale to get your big toe wet and get in the ball game a little bit. We call that a consumer member distributor, okay? We welcome you. Others, however, want to come in on the business builder. They want to get off to a fast-track pace, if you will. And on that model, they purchase 3 of the packages of their choosing, be it nutrition, be it the body sculpting, weight management, be it personal care, be it literally redesigning your face in 90 days. Whatever packages they have put together, your choice of 3, and you're going to get one free. That's over an $1,800 value for $1,125. Now, here's the key thing. That puts you into an executive qualification just on your entry into our business. That is key. Remember the goal. Become an executive and start assisting with our help and mentoring, duplicating and creating an executive factory, so to speak. So add and tell you right up front, on 23-plus years of experience with this company, 70 to 80% of the time, as you share this with those that you know, they're going to ask you, how did you get started? And I promise you, in 23-plus years, 70 to 80% of the time, they're going to come in the same way that you got started. So make your decision based on what would you personally like to see duplicate through your exponential growth business model to create freedom for your family. Guys, this has been touching to us, our family. It's changed our world the way we look, the way we feel, the way we think, the way we act. It is totally a set-free business, and there is never, ever, in my 23 years with this company and its 30 years of history, there has never been a better time. I want to, in advance, welcome you to this team, encourage you to get back to the person who invited you to share this information with you, and we look forward to include you and coach you accordingly. And, again, thanks for your time. God bless, and good luck.